I'm wrapping up a few things that we're starting to clean up from this year. Um, but I got a little situation I've got to address, and I hate to do this, but this is Tech's first year out here on the job, and but I have noticed he's been hanging his head mighty low most of the late season, especially. And there's something going on, and I think he's very much aware of it. And let me just see what he's got to say about it. Yeah, hang that head down. I see you. I sure do. I can't even get to you. But from what I've seen and what I've heard, um, you know, tomato crop has done terrible. And, I'm not pointing fingers, I'm not pointing blame, but I think Tex feels fully responsible since it's only 2 rows down from where he's been hanging out all this season. So we'll take a look at those. Now he's not in big trouble because, like I said, it's his first year. But I sure do hope he's learned a lesson from this and he's able to uh, put together a new plan for next year. I will keep him around one more year and we'll see what happens then. So he does get a second chance and a third too. Um, you hear that, Tex? You think you ought to be smiling just a little bit. Um, I can't even see if you're smiling or not. Let's see here. Oh yeah, okay. Maybe there's a little smile under that mustache, but anyway, hey, we're gonna fix this issue and we're gonna straighten it out. Ain't that right, buddy? Well, now that Tex and I had that little conversation, I think things are gonna change around here a little bit, and so let me just show you what we were talking about, and then we'll get started working on it. This is that tomato disaster. The Roma tomatoes were absolutely, one, loaded down. I did not, I'll take responsibility, did not get them all trellised up, and the weight of the tomatoes just absolutely pulled them over, broke all the vines, broke them over, and we've harvested off this a lot of times, but it's still, they're still laying around, but they've all rotted, they've all got disease, they've got sun scald, they've got bugs, so we're finished. So it's time to pull them up, clean up this trellis, clean up this bed, and I'm going to feed the chickens, and I'm going to feed the deer back in the pasture because I won't give all these to the chickens. They couldn't eat them all. But anyway, that's the disaster we've got. And boy, I've never had this problem as long as I've been gardening. And but you're talking about an abundance of tomatoes. And I want to say, we still harvested and put in our freezer bags in the kitchen, plus eating them. We did over 300 tomatoes, and I've still got all these left. So that's where we are. So starting today, right now, we're going to start just snipping these out of here, getting them cleaned up, and just getting this aisle cleaned up and looking good. There's no easy way to do this. Just come in there, snip them off, throw them in the buggy, and then I'll have to clean all that up off that's left on the mats. But no sense watching this for 30 minutes. But I hope I get them all done in 30 minutes. But we'll come back to you in just a minute as we've made a little more progress on this. Here we go. We're moving right along, snipping and dragging out of here. A lot of residue left. I just got one more little section here to do, and this thing will be wrapping up this part of this. And but anyway, this is what you have to do when your tomato crop just is more than you can handle. And right behind the camera are my big boy indeterminate tomatoes, and they are, this rack right here is 5 feet tall, this trellis. They are about this tall. Back there taller than my camera stand over there. But I'm not taking those down today because I see a lot of new growth. I see a lot of new tomatoes. And those indeterminates will just go crazy until the frost of the year kills them. That's what I've always planted, and I know you can still pick tomatoes in September, sometimes even October. They're not huge, but they're tasty unless you get too much disease in them. But I'm going to stay the course for this, get this thing wrapped up today, so by tonight this trellis, this bed is all cleaned up, and all I've got to deal with is okra and my new plantings that I've done on the other bed over there. Hang in there with me. All right. Here we go. All the bushes are down. And you see the residue I've still got to get cleaned up. A good shovel and a good broom, and 15-20 minutes I'll have that looking pretty decent. Not a bad considering the mess we started with. Here's my buggy. Oh, the deer and the chickens are going to eat well tonight or this afternoon. So that's a good size load right there. And but anyway, we're getting there, and I hope it has been enjoyable for you as it has been for me to this point. Since I kept mentioning the indeterminate tomatoes, I thought I'd give you a quick look at those, see where we're at on those. You can see all these new tomatoes coming up on them. Got a few branches that need to be tacked up, which I will do that, and get that taken care of so it doesn't end up like this other one over here. But you can see there's a lot of green, a lot of tomatoes, and I'm hoping that they'll do just fine. And you can see, like I was mentioning, this trellis is 5 feet tall. Right there, you can tell it, and you see how much taller they are than that trellis. So yeah, tomato season's been good, even though our aromas got totally out of control. And these early ones on these did not do well at all. They produced, but they didn't get very big. And the ones we did get picked had something wrong with them, either splitting or well, they wasn't splitting because we didn't have a lot of rain. So anyway, we weren't happy with this harvest either. So next year I'm going to try a different variety, and we'll see what happens with that. So that's both sides of my tomatoes as of today. All right, buddy, hold your head up there. Good there. Yeah, you're grinning now, aren't you? We got that got those tomatoes cleaned up and looking pretty decent, I think, for salvaging what happened on there. But you agree and I agree that won't happen again, and we'll let that go, and we'll overlook it. And I think you learned a good lesson, and I expect more out of you next year. we're going to be having another big garden next year. So I hope you have a big one, and I hope you're ready for it. And for you guys, I think that's it for today on my tomato fiasco, and also getting it cleaned up for this bed for this year. So I'm, you know what I'm doing. I'm heading to the porch swing. I'm going to get me some sweet tea, sit over there and relax. Now that I can quit sweating a little bit. And I don't know what you're going to do, Tex, but I'm going to go out there and relax for a little while. I'll see you guys in the next one. I appreciate you following me.